Two cops were eating breakfast in their car. Suddenly, a red car came speeding toward the gate. A bottle rolled out of the car, and a drunk woman crawled out after it. The two cops rushed in and pinned her down. Catalea was thrown into a cell, but the second the officer walked away, she dropped the act. She calmly opened the cell door, with practiced hands. Then she headed straight to the electrical room. Using a spoon and a cup, she built a simple auto-trip device. Catalea crawled into the ventilation ducts, and moved toward her target cell. As the spoon's weight shifted, it slipped and hit the breaker. The lights cut out instantly. Catalea used the blackout to slip past the spinning fan. When she reached the target area, she ran right into a cop taking a leak. He turned around, and Catalea knocked him out in one move. Using his uniform, she walked straight into the target cell. One clean shot. Mission done. By the time the cops rushed in, Catalea was already gone. No prints, no trace, no suspect, because Catalea was already back in her cell, like nothing ever happened. The next morning, the cops released her, but Catalea didn't expect her uncle to explode in anger. This was the 22nd crime boss she killed, and she did it to smoke out one man, Luis. 15 years ago, young Catalea watched her parents get murdered. The killers wanted something from her father. They didn't bother killing her, but Catalea stabbed one of them in the hand, and told him she would kill Luis someday. Then she jumped out the window. The traffickers opened fire. During their reload, Catalea climbed along the outer wall, and jumped from the 3rd floor. All the training from her father became her only weapon to survive. She sprinted through the alleys, and shook off the gunman. But another group showed up ahead. With no choice, she dove into a sewer pipe, and escaped. After losing everything, Catalea finally found her uncle. The moment she saw him, she broke down completely. The next day, she told him she wanted to become a real assassin, to avenge her parents. Now, Catalea was blinded by hatred. No matter how her uncle tried to stop her, her mind was set. But what she didn't know was that everything she was doing would bring disaster to her uncle's entire family. Catalea sneaks into a luxury villa. Her target is Kennedy, a man tied to a financial crime ring. This time, Catalea doesn't shoot right away. Kennedy wakes up, and finds a death mark, the black orchid symbol, written on his chest. He senses something's wrong and rushes out to check. He sees all the guards in the yard already on the ground. Kennedy grabs a guard's pistol and steps out of the room. When he reaches the shark tank in the center of the house, Catalea appears behind him. Kennedy fires at her in panic, but the bullets have already been removed by Catalea. Catalea decides he deserves a painful death. She shoots him in the leg. Kennedy drops to his knees and screams for mercy. Catalea tells him she won't kill him. Hearing that, Kennedy suddenly realizes something's wrong. He looks down at the shark tank under his feet. Blood from his leg is dripping into the water, and sharks are already gathering. Then Catalea fires another shot into his shoulder. The bullet cracks the glass of the tank, and the sharks tear Kennedy apart. Exhausted, Catalea goes to see her boyfriend, but she never expects this. While she's asleep, her boyfriend secretly takes a picture of her, and shows it off to his friends. That one stupid move almost gets Catalea killed. When her boyfriend goes to move his car, his friend secretly sends the photo to a police officer named Angela, asking her to check who Catalea really is. The moment Angela uploads the image, James's database triggers an alert. After comparing details carefully, James confirms Catalea is the serial killer they've been hunting, the Black Orchid. Even worse, when Catalea calls her boyfriend, the police use the signal to lock onto her exact location. When her boyfriend mentions the picture, Catalea senses something is off instantly. At that moment, a full SWAT team arrives downstairs. Catalea sees everything through her security cameras. She quickly grabs a handgun from under the table, and checks the hallway quietly. After confirming the SWAT team hasn't come up yet, Catalea runs into the neighbor's apartment. She knocks the neighbor out the second she walks in. Then she rushes into the bathroom. She carefully opens the ceiling panel, and pulls out a heavy sniper rifle she hid there. Next, she fixes a bomb to the wall. By now, the SWAT team is already at her door. They use a tiny scope and see the room filled with smoke. So they plant an explosive on the door, ready to blow Catalea up. Catalea uses their blast as cover, and detonates her own bomb at the same time, buying herself extra escape time. But what the SWAT team never expects, is that Catalea's escape plan involves nothing but a single rope. She lowers the heavy sniper rifle from the 6th floor, then slides down the elevator shaft herself, straight to level B1. She crawls through the vent, and makes it into the underground garage. Just like that, Catalea vanishes from the SWAT team's sight once again. Luis has no idea that death is already coming for him. With a deafening blast, half the dealers inside the house are killed instantly. Luis hides behind his men and starts running. When they try to escape by car, Catalea rams her vehicle straight into them. Then she jumps out with a machine gun, and unleashes pure rage on the entire crew. In that moment, Catalea lets every ounce of anger erupt. She storms into the house with the machine gun, determined to bury everyone here. Luis realizes how bad things are and rushes into the safe room. Mark leads the remaining men to fight back. They cross the hall and prepare to set up defense, but Catalea is already right beneath beneath them. She sprays bullets through the floor, pushing Mark into a fury. Mark throws a high-powered grenade, exactly where he thinks Catalea is hiding. The explosion tears a huge hole in the floor, but while all of them focus on the basement, a sudden wave of gunfire hits them from above. Catalea is already on the second floor, dual-wielding two fully loaded machine guns, and she wipes out the entire group in seconds. Bodies pile across the villa. After clearing every last man, Catalea switches to a handgun, and goes straight after Mark. 15 years ago, Mark murdered her parents. After 15 years of assassin training, Catalea is nothing like the little girl he remembers. Every punch she throws carries years of hatred and grief. After holding back for so long, Catalea finally snaps. Both of them crash to the ground. Catalea grabs a toothbrush from the floor and drives it straight into Mark's heart. Then she keeps stabbing him over and over, but Mark manages to grab a pistol off the floor. At the last second, Catalea strips the magazine, pulls the slide, and jams the gun's barrel deep into Mark's neck. Luis slips out of the safe room and jumps into a car. He thinks he's getting away, but Catalea calls him, and the moment he hears her voice, Luis looks beside him and sees two attack dogs in the back seat. With one command from Catalea, the dogs, raised on raw meat for 6 years, lunge straight at him. Luis's screams echo through the phone as Catalea finally breathes out in relief. Maybe this is the revenge that feels closest to justice, but nothing brings back her family. Catalea wipes her tears, puts on the sunglasses her uncle gave her, and drives away from the city that holds all her pain.